Hi, so today I got a question about this task here. It says follow the directions to create new numbers. And then they give us a number here, 923,678. We need to create a number with a 7 that is 10 times the value of this 7, meaning that one right there, and a number with a 2 that is 1/10 the value of this 2, meaning that 2 right there. So to think of 10 times as much and 1/10 of, we need to kind of go back to our place value chart. So the number that they gave us is 923,678. So I'm going to pop that into a place value chart. Obviously, my decimal's there. This is my ones place, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100. Oops. Use eraser. 100,000s place. Okay, so the first task says create a number with a 7 that is 10 times the value. Well, remember, when we think of what's 10 times the value, that means that the same thing as 10 times as much. And when we think of our place value chart, no matter what place value I'm in, if I have a digit, here we're talking about a 7, and I want a digit that's 10 times as much as this 7, it's going to shift over here to the next biggest place value. Okay, so whenever we shift one place value to the left, one place value bigger, we're multiplying by 10. So when I look back at this number, to create a number with a 7 that's 10 times as much as the value of that 7, I would need a number that had a 7 in this place value. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bump each of these one place value bigger. I'm almost going to times 10 to each of those digits and then put a place value 0 there. So the number now being 9,236,780 has a 7 that went from the tens place, is 7 in the tens, to a 7 in the hundreds. And we know that the hundreds place is 10 times bigger than the tens place because I know 10 times 10 equals 100 there, right? So 10 times 10, we end up in the hundreds place. Okay, the second part of this problem says we need to create a number with a 2 that is 1/10 the value of this 2. So I'm going to draw another place value chart. And I'm going to put my original number in. Okay, so we have $923,678. Here's my ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Okay. And I look at those directions one more time, a number with a 2 that is 1/10 the value. So let's talk about what that means. 1/10 the value, is the same thing as 1/10 as big as, all right, or 10 times smaller. Those are all things that kind of mean the same thing. So if we look at a 2 in any given place value, let's put the 2 here. If I want to see a 2 that is 1/10 the value of this 2, it would be a 2 that is right next door in this next smaller place value. And when we move this way, we think of it as divide by 10. And you might be like, well, hang on a second. How does that work? 1/10 the value. Well, look at the fraction 1/10. We know that a fraction is an unfinished division problem, 1 divided by 10. And here's our divided by 10. So when we move to a place value that's 1/10 the value, we move to the next smallest place value right next door. That's 1/10 of. So we look back here to create a number that has a 2 that is 1/10 the value of this 2. I can move that 2 there. Now the digits don't really matter after this, but I'm just going to actually switch, like I'm just going to shift each of them one place value smaller, and we can see how that affects our number. So now this number here, which is 92,367 and 8/10, because that's our tenths place, has a 2 that's 1/10 of the 2 that was in the 10,000s place. So now when we moved our 2 to the thousands place, that's 1/10 of the value of this 2. Now, again, to go back to this idea, divide by 10 and 1/10 the value. That's the same thing as 1/10 of the value. And we know that if we're going to take 1/10 of something, like maybe we're going to do 2, and we're going to take 1/10 of 2, we know my answer is going to be 2/10, right? Which would be a 2 in the tens place. So there, this idea that maybe I start with a 2 in the ones place, I end up, when I take 1/10 of, I end up with a 2 in the tenths place, 2/10. Go from 2 whole to 2/10. So when we talk about 1/10 of, we can think backwards, stay, change, flip. That would be the same thing as to divided by 10, right? Because we could stay the 2, change the operation, and flip that 1/10 to 10 over 1. So we're dividing by 10 there, which is where we got this idea here. 2 divided by 10 is the same as 2 times 1/10, right? So 2 divided by 10 is 2. Even if we left it this way, 2 divided by 10 looks like 2 divided by 10, 2/10, or 2 in the tenths place for this example. So when we divide by 10, it's the same exact thing as taking 1/10 of. I hope that's clear. Good luck with this one. As long as you know that when you're moving to a next place value smaller, you're taking 1/10 of. And you know when you move to the next place value bigger, as long as you have that same digit there that you're shifting, that's 10 times as much. So moving one place value to the left is 10 times as much. Moving that digit one place value to the right is 1/10 of. All right, guys.
Hi.
Henry says hi. Thanks, Henry. Bye.